Yo, welcome to Music is a Day Job. I'm your host, Sean, and Music is a Day Job is brought to you by the Qoncert app. The Qoncert app is an artist accelerator app that takes artists from opener to headliner to on tour, gives the fan the best experience in independent live music. Now, what we'll talk about is the importance of after the show. Now, I always tell artists this is one of the most important times because a lot of people think the build up to the show and then they get to do the show and they have it all set up and it's like, oh, we're gonna kill it, you know what I'm saying? And they kill it and then it's like, whew, and then they feel like they're done. And it's like, I did the show, I can relax, whatever. The after part of the show is just as, if not more important than the other parts of this piece. Because the thing about after the show is this is what's going to live forever. The moment of the actual show lives very strong in the people who were there. The moments before the show live strong in the people who were thinking about going. But after the show can live in everybody that you tell about it. Like, it's so real. In so many ways, the after part of the show becomes almost the most important because what you do after the show can dictate a lot of things. After the show, building fans becomes easier with what you did at the show. Now, if you did good at the show and you bought people, whatever, to gain more fans, they need to see what that show looked like so they can be like, oh, I need to be at his next show. I've gained a lot of fans by that because people, didn't believe a lot of stuff that we were doing. And then when they see the type of shows we were doing, they were like, yo, I got to go to the next one. I remember one dude came up to me. He was like, man, he was like, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I didn't know how many women will be at you guys' shows. So I seen the video and then I decided to come to the shows to holler at women because he was just like, I had to be at the show because I seen it online. And so it was just one of those things. It's like, how you present it after can build fans, can build sponsors, can get you more shows, can do tons of things. For me, well, if you're in the concert, of course, you can get more shows in concert, So, and I see all the shows, so I know, But back in the day, I could get more shows because I could show the truth of what my shows look like with and then other promoters want to book me, but we ain't worried about that because we got the concert app now. The other side of this is you can get sponsors. If sponsors see that you have a good fan base and people excited and everything like that, then they want to be a part of it. They want you to promote their products. And if their products and you coincide, they want to give you possibly money or product or whatever, because then they see that you control a fan base that they want as their consumers. So you definitely can gain a lot of different things from just either recapping a recap video or whatever, or even pictures you take, little TikToks you might take. All of these are things you need to do to make sure that you make that show live for as long as you can. When you get to the space where I've done tons and tons of shows, I can I watch artists. This is how crazy it is. I watch artists do one big show and then they post it once every month or twice a month. And they just did one big show. And especially because a lot of times I know the show that they did. There's an artist out here that did a big show with us. And all I see is that. All I see is that all the time. And it's every time they post, but then their fans stay interacting with it because new people haven't seen that show. So people are always oh, they killed it. And they get that interaction, that content. Artists like me, I've done so many shows with big crowds and small crowds, big crowds, everything, but so many shows with big crowds that I could probably post every day in probably every day for a year and just be different shows. And people will be like, oh my God, and they don't know when the show was. So then some people will be like, oh my God, you were killing it. You're still killing it. Whatever. Boom, boom, boom. You can make that live forever. So much content pieces. There's so many times that people can just believe. And it almost self cosigns itself. It makes it seem as if you're popping or whatever like that. And even if you are popping, you know what I'm saying? It reminds people that you're popping. So it's so much stuff that you can constantly keep doing with the content from that show that it makes it look crazy. And I always tell artists, like, even when they use like the Qoncert app, like, you're going on tour, talk about that you're going on tour. And while you're on the tour and after the tour, when you talk about the tour after the tour, that's just like, people be like, man, this person's a touring artist. This person's doing their thing. They're already hitting all these different places. This is what lives forever. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can say it 20 times. Like, how many documentaries have you watched of the same person? Like, just think of that. You watch tons of documentaries of the same people that are multiple versions of a documentary of the same person. They're just telling their past. This is what you have to do with this, with what you're, you know what I'm saying, with what you're documenting of your shows. Back in the day, a lot of people didn't do it. And so I made myself stronger as an artist because I would always do it. And other people didn't have the shows or they didn't document anything. So it made me stronger because it was like, I'm the only person that's documenting these situations. And I'm the only person telling people, hey, look at me. And it was like all day. So then it became easy for me to get into places and me to get sponsors to believe or get fans to believe because they could see what was already happening. So I tell artists, yes, worry about preparing. But the preparing and the practice and the promotion, like the promotion is your job to promote your show to get your fans there. That's a job that is its own amount of promoting that you should be doing with promoting any of your products or any of your where you're showing up or anything you're doing. Promote. Important, but that's a natural thing that we all understand that we have to do. Practice is something, of course, we have to do. I may have not done a lot of it. I was very Allen Iverson of in music. Like, I hated to practice, but definitely practice your stuff. That is important too. The night of, put on an amazing show. But the night of is always the cherry on top. I tell people, like, don't get caught into, I have to do this. Have fun. That's what this is about. Like, I always feel like the music is supposed to be fun. When it becomes like, there's points in my career that I've felt like it felt like a job when I got on stage, and I didn't like it. So make sure it's fun. Make sure you're getting on stage and it's fun and you're loving it. The only reason mine became like a job at points is because I was doing things to appease industry people and I was doing things I wouldn't do on the stage. Like, for instance, like playing music that they would, if you ever notice, like big artists, they play other people's music sometimes on stage. Like, they'll get to their city and then, like, for instance, like they're performing on the West Coast and they start playing Tupac on their set or whatever like that, and like doing all this stuff with the crowd and stuff like that, like, yeah, you know. And it's like, I'm not that type of artist. So I did some stuff like that. It felt like they were trying to hype me up to do it, like, yo, do this in your set or let someone on your set or anything like that. And like, I usually wouldn't have done that. So when it started me having to add people into my sets and stuff like that, it wasn't fun. And as I said, that's the night that it's supposed to be all about the fun. You're supposed to have fun, make your consumers have fun, and then enjoy it with them. But the nights after, that's when the work starts. Because now you make people believe. And it's probably the most important piece of this, because making people believe is what's going to keep your career running forever. As long as you can make people believe. So after the show, it starts. And then you're back, of course, to being in front of a show also, because you're probably working to do the next one. But after the show, do what you need to do to make people believe. Now, if anyone has any like other topics they want me to talk about, put it down in the comments, and I would definitely love to talk about those things. And I can tell you from my experience, hopefully it helps you out. put it down in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe as usual. Get on the Qoncert app ASAP. Everybody get onto the Qoncert app. If we are in your city already and putting shows on in your city, jump on some shows. If we're not in your city, tell everybody to get on it so it makes it easier for me to see the demand so I can get out there. Definitely, if you know any venues, whether we're on the app or we're not, or whether we're in your city or not in your city, let us know, because then it makes it easier for us to get to your city and start putting on shows, or even putting on more shows. Once again, this has been Music is a Day Job. I'm your host, Sean, and this has been brought to you by the Qoncert app.